Fixed-wing drones. Fixed-wing drones, which look like airplanes without cockpits, have been the most common type used by militaries. The US's MQ-1 Predator rose to prominence in the 1990s, praised, and feared, for its ability to cruise at low speed for a prolonged period while it orbits a target area and gathers information. Since then, countries around the globe have developed similar uncrewed vehicles, several of which are being used in Ukraine to follow enemy troop movements or track targets for artillery fire. RQ4 Global Hawk. Operator, USA, made in USA, wingspan, 131 feet, flight time, more than 34 hours, top speed, faster than 350 mph, power plant, turbofan jet. While NATO says it will not intervene directly in Ukraine, its aircraft have been gathering information from just across the Polish border. Key among these spy drones is the USAF's RQ4 Global Hawk. America's chief strategic reconnaissance drone can survey more than 40,000 square miles in one mission, using its long radar to scan the ground in photographic detail, day or night, regardless of cloud cover. With a wingspan of 130+ feet, the Global Hawk is larger than a Boeing 757 airliner. Hobbyist aircraft trackers have noted the distinctive flight patterns of Global Hawks near Ukrainian long loops at altitudes of 50,000 feet for prolonged periods, suggesting that they are scanning for Russian armor moving deep within the country. Orion. Operator, Russia, made in Russia, wingspan, 48 feet, flight time, 24 hours, top speed, 120 mph, power plant, internal combustion. The Orion Orionocotids, AMBLA, is a medium-altitude, long-endurance drone that Russia uses mostly for reconnaissance and strike missions. It resembles America's Predator drones, which were used extensively in Iraq and Afghanistan, but is a newer platform that first flew in 2016. Orion can carry up to 551 pounds of sensors or weapons, which may include one X-50 anti-tank missile. The Orion may also be armed for air-to-air drone killing missions, but there are no reports of it serving in that role to date. Russia operates only a handful of Orions, and it is not clear how many have flown in Ukraine. But Russia's Ministry of Defense has released a video of the drones attacking Ukrainian troops, and reports from Russian media in March claimed the drones had destroyed 6 Ukrainian vehicles. Bayraktar TB2. Operator, Ukraine, made in Turkey, wingspan, 39 feet, flight time, more than 20 hours, top speed, 100 mph, power plant, gasoline internal combustion. An icon of Ukraine's resistance, the Turkish-made Bayraktar TB2 is even the subject of a popular song in the country. Its success has been no surprise. It was an effective combat drone in several previous conflicts. Bayraktars scored notable successes against Russian-made hardware flown by GNA forces in Libya and by the Turkish military against Syria. In 2020, Azerbaijan used them against Armenia, where the drones played a decisive role and destroyed hundreds of tanks. The Bayraktar TB2 is typically armed with 4 laser-guided MAMEL anti-tank missiles. In addition to taking out Russian air defenses and fuel convoys in Ukraine, the drones have sunk patrol boats and set ablaze an oil storage facility at Bryansk, across the Russian border. Russia claims to have shot down at least 39 Bayraktars, but Ukraine only has 36 of them, and photographic evidence suggests that only 4 have been destroyed so far. UJ-22 Airborne. Operator, Ukraine, made in Ukraine, wingspan, 32 feet, flight time, 7 hours, top speed, 100 mph, power plant, gasoline internal combustion. The UJ-22, developed by Ukjet of Kyiv, resembles a light aircraft like the Cessna 172 and is used for intelligence, surveillance, and artillery spotting. Unlike crewed aircraft, it can be easily broken down and reassembled for transport, and can operate from rough airstrips. This allows it to be carried around and launched from almost anywhere, without the need for a fixed airbase. So far, Ukraine has reportedly used the UJ-22 only for surveillance, but the drone has a 45-pound payload and can be armed with weapons, including a loitering munition that uses a warhead from an RPG-7 rocket and has a range of 25 miles. Fourpost. Operator, Russia, made in Russia, wingspan 28 feet, flight time 20 hours, top speed 125 mph, power plant, gasoline internal combustion. The Fourpost, Outpost, is a Russian-made version of the Israeli Searcher 2 drone. While the Searcher 2 debuted in 1998, the Fourpost entered service 20 years later. In 2018, the Fourpost's 264-pound max payload would normally hold cameras, radar units, and other sensors, but Russia has adapted the drone to carry modified 60-pound Kornet anti-tank missiles or 50-pound CAB-20 laser-guided bombs. These munitions can reportedly hit targets from several miles away, as evidenced by a March 2022 video from the Russian Ministry of Defense that appears to show a Fourpost destroying a Ukrainian multiple rocket launcher vehicle. Zala 421. Operator, Russia, made in Russia, wingspan 17 feet, flight time 6 hours, top speed 74 mph, power plant, electric. The Zala 421 16E5 HD is a Russian commercial fixed-wing drone that is larger and more expensive than consumer models. It would typically be used for inspecting pipelines, power lines, or other industrial infrastructure. The 421 is designed to provide streaming HD video, and it can also carry a thermal imager, gas detector, or radiation dosimeter for checking levels of radioactivity, suggesting that with modifications, it could have a role in chemical and radiological warfare scenarios. It can also carry a designated to direct laser-guided weapons. Russian media suggests that the Zala 421 16E5 is a spotter for the big guns in Ukraine. Television in Ukraine has shown it flying over artillery strikes near Mariupol. PD-1 People's Drone. Operator, Ukraine, made in Ukraine, wingspan 13 feet, flight time 7 hours, top speed 90 mph, power plant, internal combustion engine. Ukrainian drone enthusiasts built the PD-1, the People's Drone, in response to Russia's 2014 annexation of Crimea. At the time, Ukrainian forces lacked tactical drones, and their supporters developed one using commercial components and advice from the military. Following the PD-1's success, the team that created it formed a startup called UXP Systems and released newer versions of the drone, as well as additional models. The PD-1 has multiple takeoff options. It can launch from a catapult, take off from a runway, or rise vertically, like a helicopter. Ukraine forces use it mostly to direct artillery fire and to track the movement of Russian forces. Tupolev TB2-141 Strizh. Operator, unknown, made in former USSR member states, wingspan 12 feet, flight time 60 minutes, top speed 680 mph, power plant, turbojet. The Tu-141 Strizh or Swift is a Soviet-era design dating to 1974 used by both Russia and Ukraine. The sleek, turbojet-powered craft originally held a film camera to shoot stills or video upon returning from a mission. It would parachute to the ground and offer its film canister for retrieval and development. When Ukraine reactivated its UAV stocks in 2014, the drones, which had been in storage since Soviet times, were obsolete. But the war with Russia gave the Swift new purpose. In March, a Swift from the Ukrainian war zone flew over 3 NATO countries before crashing in Croatia. The explosion was large enough to damage dozens of vehicles, and Croatian investigators say the drone had been carrying a bomb. Neither Russia nor Ukraine has claimed responsibility for the incident. A second Tupolev flying bomb found in Kharkiv, in northeast Ukraine, also appears to have come from Ukraine. WB FlyEye operator, Ukraine, made in Poland, wingspan 12 feet, flight time 2.5 hours, top speed 80 mph, power plant electric. FlyEye is a hand-launched drone made by the Polish company WB Systems that cruises at approximately 60 mph for 2.5 hours. Poland has supplied these drones to Ukraine since 2017, but little is known about them or even how many exist. According to WB's co-founder and president, Piotr Sikowski, the drones cumulatively fly about 250 hours every day in Ukraine, monitoring troop movements and directing artillery fire using a precise location system. Granat 4 operator, Russia vertical bar made in Russia, wingspan 11 feet, flight time 6 hours, top speed 90 mph, power plant, gasoline internal combustion. Rubez 20 is the latest in a series of tactical military drones developed by Russia. This one is designed for endurance flights, with its pusher propeller at the rear in order to give optical systems a clear forward-facing field of view. Although Russia initially used the Granat 4 to spot artillery, some carrier SIGINT, signals intelligence, package that can identify and locate radio transmitters on the ground and eavesdrop on them, recording for later analysis. It can also act as a radio relay for friendly forces.